Hey guys, Damien here again with Digital Media Academy. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to do a really cool facial tracking effect that I'm using in my music video to paste a third eye onto my subject's forehead. So let's get right into it. Okay, here we are in After Effects. Right now our objective is to create a copy of this left eye and paste it over the blue oval that is on our actress's forehead. So the reason we placed this blue piece of tape on the actress's forehead was because we knew we'd be applying this effect in post-production and we wanted a source for tracking information. So if you don't have the tracker window displayed, you can just come up to the window drop down and go down to tracker to pop it up there. So the first thing we're going to want to do is right click, go to new, null object. This is going to house our tracking data, so I'm going to rename it tracker. Now with our footage selected, we're going to go and click track motion in the tracker window. That'll give us one tracking point. We want two tracking points though, and to do that, we're going to check the rotation checkbox and move that into place on the corners of our oval. This inner circle is going to be the pixels that our tracker looks for, and the outer circle denotes how far out the tracker will look for those pixels. So let's make the inner box pretty small because we're dealing with a high contrast area. That blue tape is pretty different from our actress's skin. That looks all right. It's a pretty simple track. I'm going to hit play to allow our tracker to look through our footage. And it looks like it did a good job. So let's edit our target, make sure it's set to the tracker null object, and hit apply. Apply both X and Y dimensions, hit OK. Nice. So we can see that our null object follows along with our motion quite well. Okay, that looks awesome. Now what we need to do is duplicate our actress's eyeball. So let's take our original footage up here, drag it into the timeline, and we're going to create a mask around her left eye. I'm going to open up the pen tool and just kind of sketch in a rough mask around her eyeball. So now we want to make sure it's nicely feathered. I'm going to solo it so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to feather it 15 pixels. I'm going to kind of tighten up the mask. We want to keep that wrinkle there. We don't want to be too close to the eyebrow, but we want to be as close as we can get. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to want to animate this mask path. I'm going to hit M to bring up the mask path attribute, hit the stopwatch to set a keyframe, and then I'm just going to scroll down every 10 frames and make sure my mask path is around the eye in the same way on each of these frames. So move it a little to the left, shift page down, move it a little to the left. We want to keep that eye in the center of our mask. Great, so now as we scrub through, we can see that the eye is basically in the same spot within our mask throughout the whole range of footage. So let's unsolo that. We want to now move the eye into place on her forehead, and it's not quite big enough to cover that blue piece of tape, so I'm going to have to scale it up to about 120, move it into place. Looking good. Now we're going to link our eye layer, and let's rename that. We're going to link our eye to the tracker null object by dragging the pick whip, this little squiggly line, up to our tracker. So now you can see that the parent right here of our eye layer is our tracker layer. Great, so now you can see that as we RAM preview through, the eye is staying in the same place on our actress's forehead, creating the illusion that she has a third eye.